Alright guys, so we just went live on our Instagram, announced the winner to our Kids See Ghost Adidas Continental giveaway. We had over 550 submissions, absolutely huge turnout. We really appreciate that from you guys. The winner was Ninja Bao from Instagram, so shout out to him, and we really look forward to having another one soon. Let us know some of the stuff that you would like to see us give away, whether it's a pair of custom cleats, another Adidas shoe, a Nike shoe, some Angela stuff. Just let us know, and we would love to have another one soon. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the page, and today we have one of our most highly requested videos where we're going to be giving you guys a full stencil guide on everything that you'll need to create a really cool LV Supreme custom. Obviously, this is one of the most popular designs out there, and with the World Cup going on right now, we thought it would be super fitting to deck out a pair of these Vapor Elites. Design-wise, we thought it would be really cool to deck these out with the all-gold look to actually match the World Cup trophy. And then the two green stripes that are at the bottom of the trophy, we decided to incorporate into the swooshes. So when it comes to creating a really cool design like this, one of the most important things that I can't stress enough is taking your time to do the prep work correctly. And the reason for that is if your prep isn't done correctly and you get into the painting, you lay down some base coats, and you're ready to get into your stencils, you lay down your stencils, you take the time to do all that, and then you go to peel off your stencils. One of the biggest issues that people have is when they peel up their stencils, paint comes up from underneath, and there's a lot of reasons that could be happening. One of the first reasons that it could happen is because your prep wasn't done well enough. And there's kind of no better test while painting shoes to see if your shoes were prepped correctly than laying down some tape or some stencils to where you're actually peeling stuff back off the shoe. Paint's gonna come up if they weren't prepped correctly. So if you need a full prep guide on how you can actually prep your custom cleats, go ahead and check out one of our previous videos called How to Custom Cleats. We will also provide a link for that. That'll be the first link in the description. It goes really detailed into everything that you need to actually make a really wearable pair of custom cleats. The second thing that is absolutely huge to factoring in is if your stencils will come off correctly and you'll be pleased with the outcome of everything, is if you actually allowed enough dry time in between coats on top of your stencil. A lot of times people will lay down their stencil and then they'll go ahead and just apply coat on top of coat on top of coat until they're completely done, and then they think it's time to remove the stencil. But what happens is paint builds up a little too quickly, and then you've created a thickness on top of your stencil layer to when you remove that too, that whole stencil that you've laid down and painted in between is going to come up also. So dry time in between coats is absolutely huge for making sure that your stencils come out correctly. So let's go ahead and get rolling with this pair of cleats, and like we said, prep comes first, so let's go ahead and knock that out. So when doing this LV print, let's go ahead and discuss how you decide what colors you're going to be using and what colors you need to lay down first for your base coats. So as you can see here, I have a black and white image of the LV print, and all the print is in black while the background is in white. And let's say you wanted it to look like this, where the LV print is in a light tan and the rest of the background is in a dark brown. What you would actually do is lay down a light tan base coat first. After that, you would lay down all the LV print as a stencil and spray dark brown around that. So then when you remove those LV stencils, that light tan would be showing through underneath the stencil. So since we're going with this all gold look, let's go ahead and lay down a couple coats of a nice gold on our cleats. Alright, so now we are officially ready to go ahead and get into our stencils. So now that we have this LV stencil cut out, we wanted to make sure that this was as accessible for you guys as possible, so we actually threw this up in our Etsy shop if you needed one of these stencils. So there's two ways that you can utilize stencils. You can either use the positive portion of the stencils, or you can use the negative portion around the stencils. The positive portion in this situation is where we lay down the print and spray around it. The negative portion in this situation would be is if we lay down the background and then sprayed in the LV print. It's the negative portion of the stencil. The reason that I don't recommend using the negative portion of something like an LV print around the entire shoe is because shoes have a lot of curves and they're not a flat surface like a canvas. That would be really hard to wrap the entire shoe where this would come out even. You would have a lot of bends and it just wouldn't come out that even, believe me. So when you're doing a really complex print like this, you want to use the positive portion of the stencil. The reason for that is because you can really easily transfer the entire positive portion onto some transfer tape and then slowly press it along the shoe and kind of one by one transfer it from the transfer tape onto the shoe, and then still keep the print really even and symmetrical along the way. So after you've taken the steps to transfer your LV print from your transfer tape onto the shoe, one of the next most important steps is doing some heat setting to really get that vinyl to lay up against the surface. This will really help keep it flat, even, and for that print to come out sharp and crispy. When using the heat gun in this situation, less is more. You want to get close and you want to be rubbing your finger over the areas that you're heating. So one, you don't want to burn yourself, and two, if you overheat the vinyl, it'll start to curve up real quickly, and then you'll need to replace some of that print. So less is more for sure when it comes to heat in this situation. Take your time, do it slowly, make sure that you press down every single piece of this print, like I said, for it to come out as sharp and crispy as possible. So now we're just about ready for our paint on top of this. You can see we have the LV print in this white vinyl, the positive portion laid down up against across our gold cleat. And what I'm going to be doing is just spraying a darker shade of gold on top of this. Like we mentioned earlier in the videos, one of the most important steps, one of the most vital aspects for this stencil to really come out clean is for you to really take your time and do really light coats on top of the stencil and make sure you're allowing for proper dry time in between. The amount of coats that you're going to be doing is really going to change from a situation to situation basis depending on the colors you're using. Since I'm only doing a darker shade of gold and I already have a nice gold surface underneath, it's only going to take me about 2 to 3 really light coats on top of this for it to come out good. So let's go ahead and lay down this darker shade of gold on top of all of our LV Supreme print. So now that we have this darker shade of gold laid down on top of our stencil and coating the entire shoe, it's just about time to go ahead and remove this LV print stencil. If we took our time and did our prep work correctly and allowed for our dry time in between coats, we really shouldn't have a lot of cleanup work underneath. We definitely shouldn't have any paint peeling. So we're gonna go ahead and do this all on camera. We're gonna speed it up just a bit because it does take quite a while to do this properly. So you can use a pair of tweezers. I like to use an old airbrush needle. That seems to be the easiest for me. I can kind of quickly slip right underneath the stencil, peel it up, and move on to the next one. So since we're doing this entire shoe on camera, you're gonna see if any paint peels up, if any of the print didn't come out correctly, and we'll be able to tell you what we did wrong. But like I said, if we did this all correctly, you guys will see this print come out nice and sharp, nice and crispy. All right, so now that we have our stencils peeled up, everything's looking good, we're pretty far along with the shoe. There's still a few decisions for us to make. We can choose between the swoosh color, the laces, something that's really gonna complete the design. So what I'll do from time to time is just take a picture of the shoes where I'm at in the process, head into Photoshop, and then I'll play with some different swoosh colors, some different lace colors, and just kind of really decide what I believe best will complement the shoe. Because we really want to give these that trophy look, we thought the best decision was going to be to go with the green swoosh that would match the green stripes at the bottom of the trophy. After we did that, there was one final thing that we wanted to incorporate, and we wanted to throw the trophy on the back of the cleats. So we grabbed the Russia 2018 logo and provided that trophy on the back of these cleats to really set them off. So now that it was finally time to lace these up, these actually came with some stock white and silver laces, and all we had laying around through our selection was some white and gold rope laces, but we didn't want to throw the rope laces on the soccer cleats. So what we decided to do off camera was dye the white and silver stock laces a different shade of gold. If dyeing laces is something you guys would like to learn about from us in the future, just go ahead and let us know in the comments below. So if you guys have ever purchased any cleats before that have a metallic finish bottom, you'll notice that they always come with a little sticker that says, you know, this chrome finish will wear off over time. So for these, we went ahead and turned the bottoms gold. This is something that absolutely will not hold up over time, but after we talked it over with our client, you know, it really helped complement the design. It looks pretty cool, and you know, the finishes from the factory don't even hold up that much longer than these will over time. So this is not something that will increase durability. It's not gonna last, but for the sake of this design, it looks pretty damn cool to help complete that trophy look. Alright guys, so there you have it. That's a wrap on today's stencil guide. We hope that this video provided some really good information so that you guys could really start utilizing stencils. Remember that the stencils we used in today's video can be purchased from our Etsy shop. So if you're interested in that, just go ahead, head down to the description and click that link. Overall, super happy with how this design came out. Doing the LV print in the 2 different shades of gold is really cool. Obviously, a lot of times you see it in like white and red or other things where the colors are really far apart, but here it being 2 pretty similar shades makes it a bit more subtle, but this is still a really cool way to stand out. Obviously, these green swooshes really pop right off the shoe, give it that trophy look when you compare it up to the actual trophy, so super pleased with this design. So if you learned something from today's video, go ahead and make sure you give it a like and make sure you're subscribed to the page so you don't miss any of the new content we're putting out. Like we said, this was one of our most requested videos. We're definitely listening to the feedback that you guys are giving, so go ahead and make sure you guys are giving us those suggestions, and we will see you in that next one.